Okay, and we are live. And today is Wednesday, December 26th, 2018, the day after Christmas. So, Merry Christmas to everybody. Um, it's going to be a quick update. I just don't have the energy to do it. The couple days off was nice over the break, but doing a lot of soul searching and thinking about what I am doing with myself here trading. I went back over a lot of my old trade journals and some of my stuff from before, and it was a little painful to do that, because I'm trying to be as objective as possible, because the worst and the last thing I want to do is waste any more time. I feel like I've already wasted a lot of time, and I don't want to lie to myself. And I've done that a lot in the past and in many different aspects of my life. And I think as we grow older and those of us that desire to take an objective view of our lives and reassess the things that we've done and the mistakes that we've made, it takes a hard look and a hard, honest look at oneself. And I'm very grateful in a way, because trading can lead a man to that place. It can also lead him to just a ridiculous delusional place as well. But it can be a very spiritual and exercise in growth as well, because this really shows you things about yourself that you may have known, but it really puts them right in your face, and it doesn't hold anything back. And you can choose to turn a blind eye and not listen. However, if you truly want to assess the current situation, there's no committee unless you're trading with other people. So it's very easy to convince yourself of things that maybe aren't true or that are. So it's important for me to constantly reassess, go back and say, is this for me? Is this something that I can do? And even if I can do it, is it something that I want to do? And if I can do it and I do want to do it, is it something that is going to fulfill me, give some sense of purpose and meaning to my life? And that's definitely something that I've been lacking as of late. And it's something that is very important for a man, to have a purpose and a mission and a meaning for life. And whether that's family, friends, or a career or creative expression of some kind, there's many different ways that somebody can do that. Anyway, I don't need to get too deep into that side of things. So overall, no reason not to feel okay. I finished the day up. It was a decent day, about plus 19 when I account for one tick of slippage on that second trade, and I'm just not happy with that. When price is not moving quickly and price hits my stops that are already resting, that should fill at that price. I'm in the queue. I would be in the queue for that on live trades. So I went through an exercise of trying to be very methodical with my journaling today, because it's so easy to be lazy and to do it way after the fact too, nearly at the end of the day. And what I find myself doing as well, if I do it at the end of the day, if I do it at all, and not documenting exactly what the setup was and what I was thinking at the time, the mind can play a trick on itself I play, and this comes down to lying to oneself again, in that after the fact, it's easier to come up with reasons as to why you took the trade, and you can talk yourself into saying, oh, it was off of this level. But if you do it either during, you can't really do it during, because you need to be focused and paying attention to the trade, but immediately after you exit the trade, to document many different aspects of that. And there's some things here that I've written as far as that may be important. The type of trade, my expectations, were the expectations met? How did I feel my trade management was? Did I fill or hit my target, or did I miss it? Were there any errors in the trade? And then any images that I want to add to the trade. Also my price, the general read about the price action after the trade. So, and then you can see this is just kind of my OneNote journal, but I took some screenshots about the specifics of some of the important levels and things that I was seeing at the time. And I believe that this is going to be a fairly useful exercise. It can be so methodical, especially when you're taking as many trades as I think through this exercise, this also reveals to me that I am over trading, and I think I've felt like that for a little while now. But especially to only be taking out 18 ticks. So let's say that's on a one lot. On 9 trades, that's going to be about $45 in commissions. So 18 ticks would be $180, and then minus 45. I mean, 45 out of 180 is 25%. So let's just look at it based on, you look at it as far as percentages of a casino, it's not a bad business for them. But to give away 25% of my profits, I don't have any problem doing with that. If I have a consistent edge and I can scale this, it would be okay. But my concern is that 25% is a significant number to cover, because 25% of my profits have to be made up on my edge. So I have to earn more and be more profitable to justify that. So to justify a 25% cost is significant. Now, if it's 2 trades and I'm plus 18 on the day, that's much more tolerable. If it's 2 trades on a $180 win, that would be $10. So that's much, that's that's the 5% range. So that's a little bit, so that's something I've been thinking about as well. So, like I said, I don't think I'm going to go into any trades that I took today. I had some good ones. I had, one thing I did have a problem with is that my one loss that I took a minus 20 on, for some reason, it shouldn't be, I don't know why there's a resting order in here. Some reason I entered with 2 lots, or I think I maybe hit the button twice and I entered at market on the first, but when I went back and looked at the logs, the entry on both lots was at the exact same time and the exit was. So instead of that would have been, I not say shoulda, woulda, coulda, but I'm not entering on 2 lots at one time. I'm not doing that anymore. I feel like it's a bad strategy, and all that's going to do is create larger losses. My idea for my trade management is that if I have once I can clearly identify that a trade is moving in my favor and it's past where I feel is that first questionable area, I add on. But as you can see, I didn't do that today. I tried to do it on the first one, but when I added 53, 60, 70, 83, I think price had already gone, this is the crazy thing, price had already gone 30 ticks in my favor, and then I added on, and I ended up taking less of a gain on the trade than I would have if I would have just kept the original one lot on. So that was a bad decision. I don't have a good idea about how I should actually be scaling into these positions. I need to make something, and that's why I said my rule, loosely speaking, is that as soon as that I find that, so the first trade was a break above, a continuation and a breakout above the high of the day. So when I entered, as soon as I broke that high and that area held from above, I should have added to that trade. So I said I entered at 53 long, so around 60 or something, wherever that area was that that it looked like if I could get in there, or even on a break of that high. But that can be dangerous sometimes because you get whipsawed out if the trade just breaks the high and turns around. But I mean, to add 30 ticks later and then take a loss on that second position, that's a big bonehead mistake. That doesn't help. So other than that, outside of that, if I wouldn't have taken that 20 tick, if that would have been just a one lot, which is what it should have been, because I mean it is what it was, but I never enter a trade with 2 at the very beginning anyway. So that would have been about a 29 tick win on the day, and that would have been one of my better days recently. So we'll see if that continues. But I also had some good, really good, solid reads and some decent trades that went on to be very large winners that I took off break even, unfortunately. So can only get better from there, as long as I can continue to keep my errors to a minimum and not do that. So the only other thing I want to do is I'll just do a quick show of what the market looked like today, because it was a crazy, and this is another reason as to why I'm feeling like it doesn't make a lot of sense to take 9 trades and only end up with 18 ticks when crude went up 300 ticks today. It was just a crazy trend day, and which is not necessarily a great thing for me, because I have a habit of being a big fader of levels. So when I have just a real big trend day that never comes back to give me any failures of any levels, it's harder, because I generally don't play a lot of breakouts. I'm trying to work on some strategies. Like my first trade, that was more of a breakout, but I was in before on the expectation of the break. So I'm not very good at trading a breakout style after the break. So let's call it quits for that. Whenever I say it's going to be a real short one, it always is much longer than really short. But thank you. Have a great night.